Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is December 9th and it's my weekly shop update. I hope you're having a great Saturday. I know I am. So JR is taking his nap finally and Lindsay is taking a little bit of a rest time. So I'm hanging out with Max in the shop. Figured we'd get this video done. So this week I will be able to follow up on the new Cyclone and also take a look at the dovetails on the drawer fronts of the highboy. So a couple of people let me know that on the 3 horsepower Laguna Cyclones, these ones have separation issues, or at least they don't separate nearly as good as the smaller units for whatever reason. So Laguna had created a little part to make the separation a little better, just a little plate that goes between the drum area and then the actual cone. It's called a restrictor plate, so I guess it restricts airflow in that area and helps with the separation. So I had this part, didn't know what it was for. I have a lot of extra parts because I'm not using the bags for the drum, so I didn't use the little thing that holds the bags in place. So I wasn't too worried about some extra parts I had. And of course, it doesn't actually mention this in the manual at all, so I didn't know about it. So I installed that little separator plate thing into the Cyclone, and that was after I had emptied the drum last time. So there has been a lot of improvement in the separation ability. So if I take my filter bag off of here, so this is a full can's worth of chips and stuff that made it through here. So dropping the bin out of here, I have a pretty full bin's worth right now, about whatever that is, 3/4 full, and then this is how much stuff got through into the filter, which, you know, it's still a pretty good amount, but, you know, not quite perfect, I guess. But that's a huge improvement over not having that plate installed. The large particles seem to be filtering out a lot better. The fine stuff still makes it into the filter though. So this was a bad idea. So on the highboy, I'm starting to work through the drawer construction. I got these 2 drawers that are completely dovetailed together and ready to go. So the first one I did, which was this top one, I just got out here, I didn't film anything. This is kind of like the warm-up / practice drawer, and it was really nice just to be out here doing something that was somewhat mindless to me, and it was kind of nostalgic because I've spent a lot of time in past years just doing like monotonous drawer construction like this, and it kind of brought back some fun memories just being out here in the shop and just dovetailing away. So yeah, that's kind of fun. So the drawer fronts themselves have this beaded rabbit kind of detail here, and this rabbit is what stops the drawer as it goes into the opening. So as you're kind of working through the dovetails on here, this rabbit can kind of get in the way. But honestly, it's not really a lot big of a deal. And I think it actually makes at least the transferring process a lot easier. So when I have my drawer front in the vise and I'm going to transfer the sides, it actually makes it pretty easy to have that rabbet there. So I have the existing groove for the drawer bottom, which I can use this little piece of wood that fits in there as an alignment aid, like that. And then I can set my drawer side onto here. And now I have an alignment, like a just locked in alignment both side to side from that drawer bottom groove and also in and out because the position is all the way up against this front edge of the rabbet. So positioning this is really easy. So what makes this just a little bit more challenging is actually transferring the locations of the tails onto the pin board. But it really isn't that bad either. All you need is a marking knife that's thin enough to get down in there, or a chisel that fits between your tails. So in my case, I have these thin chisels from Ashley Isles, so I could stick this down in here and mark the tails that way. Or what I usually do is just use the marking knife, mark the front and back location, and then once I pull this off of here, I'll use a chisel to just step in the lines and connect the points, and I'll have my lines transferred exactly where they need to be. So from there, the process to clean up these half blinds is exactly the same as a half blind where you don't have that rabbited lip on the front. I like to use a Forstner bit at the drill press to remove the majority of the waste, and then I can clean up right back to the line with some chisels. So I'll start the chisel work to remove roughly the bulk of the waste and then start refining back to the line from there. And then once I have the waste removed all the way back to the scribe line and to that shoulder, I'll flip it up into my vise and then start pairing the sides of the pins to get them down to exactly the right size. So I think that's about all that's going on in my shop this week. Let's take a look at some viewer projects. First this week is a segmented economy bowl by Austin. This bowl is made from walnut and curly maple. It's 11 inches wide and 5.5 inches deep. Austin turns these on an old Craftsman 9-inch lathe, which he made a riser block for to bring the lathe's capacity to 12 inches. And you can find more of Austin's work over on his Facebook page. Next this week is a Greek Key Workbench by Matt. The entire bench is constructed from southern yellow pine 2x10s. The bench top is laminated to a thickness of around 4.5 inches, and the base is joined with 3 Morrison tenon joinery. To dress it up a bit, Matt hammer veneered the base with straight grain walnut and cut Greek key motifs in walnut and maple veneer. Matt sent over an album of pictures that detail the entire process of this build, and I'll leave a link to that down in the description. Next is the Mario end grain cutting board by Greg. Greg made this cutting board for his son and his daughter-in-law because they both enjoy video games. The board's made from walnut, cherry, maple, and padauk. It has routed handles on the sides and end grain cherry feet. Next is the jewelry box by Peter. Peter made this jewelry box for his mom for her 60th birthday. He says she had always wanted a nice jewelry box, so he thought he would attempt to make one for her. The jewelry box is made from purple heart and zebrano with a buffed wax finish. The box features mitered corners with a zebrano spline. Hey Max, did you know it's your birthday this week? You're gonna be 1 in like a few days. So I think that's about all I have for you this week. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today or anything here in my shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking. What are you doing, Max?
Good.
You cleaning? You gonna put all the stuff away? That's what I thought.